Hello students, a warm welcome to my YouTube channel Easy Maths with Manoj Sharma. Here we will learn mathematics up to class 10th in such a easier way that you learn mathematics, you enjoy mathematics, you will love mathematics. Today, so students, today we will start learning another branch of mathematics named trigonometry. This is new to you for 10th class. Here we will learn the relationship between the sides of a right angle triangle and its angles. This is basic or a basis of trigonometry. Here you will learn about the words like sine, cos, tan, cosecant, secant, cotangent, etc. What is the meaning of these words? What, how does they are implied or used in mathematics? All these things we will learn in this chapter named trigonometry. So students, this is what is in front of your screen is what the trigonometry is about. This is the basics of trigonometry, or you can say base of the trigonometry, from where it starts, and everything depends on this. So trigonometry, it is applied only in right angle triangle. So this is right angle triangle. Here, this is red line. This vertical line is known as perpendicular or altitude, and this horizontal line, this is known as a base, and this slanted line is known as a hypotenuse, as you have learned this in previous classes. And this angle, which we are taking in account, is known as this angle, which we are taking in account is known as angle theta or base angle. We would use a term theta to denote this angle. So this is known as angle theta. So second thing in trigonometry is ratio of the sides, right? The ratio of these three sides, that is perpendicular, base and hypotenuse, and these three sides have six different ratios, and we have six different names for all those ratios. First ratio is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, we call it as sine theta. Second is known as base upon hypotenuse, we call it as cos theta. And third ratio is perpendicular upon base, we call it as tan theta. So these three are the basic ratios. Then if we take reciprocal of these three ratios, that is first one is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. When we take its reciprocal, that is hypotenuse upon perpendicular, so it changes to cosecant theta. That is reciprocal of sine theta is cosecant theta. Then base upon hypotenuse, its reciprocal is hypotenuse upon base, and its name is secant theta. And the sixth ratio, last ratio, that is the reciprocal of third ratio, that is base upon perpendicular, we call it as cot theta. So these are the six different ratios: sine theta, cos theta, tangent theta, cosecant theta, secant theta, and cotangent theta. So this is what trigonometry's today's video is about. So students, this is a timeline of the development of the trigonometry over the ages. This is little bit for your information to just create an interest in the trigonometry. So first, in 50 BC, Hipparchus created the first trigonometric table. Second century CE, Ptolemy writes Almagest comprehensive treatise on astronomy and trigonometry. In 6th century CE, Aryabhatta introduces concepts of sine and cosine functions. In 10th century CE, Al-Wafa coins the term tangent and also secant and cosecant function in Islam. And then 13th century CE, same work is done by Nasir at al-Din al-Tahir in Persia. And in 18th century CE, Euler and Bernoulli discovered the Euler formula and exponential form of complex numbers involving trigonometric functions. So this is just a bit timeline or a history line of a trigonometry. So then let us have a basic knowledge of trigonometry. What trigonometry is? Trigonometry means a word trigonometry derived from Greek language, and it is comprised of two words, trigonon meaning triangle, and metron, to measure. The trigonometry, the branch of mathematics concerned with specific functions of angles and their application to calculation. So this is the trigonometry. Trigonometry is the branch of mathematics concerned with specific functions of angles and their applications to calculations. Then there are 6 functions of an angle commonly used in trigonometry. Their names and abbreviations are sine, in shortcut it is written as sin, cosine, in shortcut cos, tangent, shortcut tan, cotangent written as cot, secant as sec, SCC, and cosecant as cosec. So these are the 6 trigonometric ratios or 6 trigonometric functions which we are going to read today. So students, let us start trigonometry. For trigonometry, we must have a knowledge of right angle triangle. So in starting, we will refresh our knowledge about right angle triangle. So this is right angle triangle in which angle B is right angle, that is 90 degree. So this what horizontal line AB is known as our base. Why this is known as our base? Because we are taking into consideration this angle. So this angle is known as base, and side adjacent to this angle A is known as adjacent side. Similarly, the side opposite to this angle A is known as our perpendicular or opposite side. So this is our perpendicular or opposite side because this is opposite to this angle A. And then the third side or slanted side is known as our hypotenuse. So this is our hypotenuse. So once again, so this perpendicular line or horizontal vertical line is known as perpendicular or opposite side, opposite to base angle A, and this horizontal line is known as base or adjacent side, adjacent to angle A, and this slanted line or the longest side of right angle triangle is known as hypotenuse. So these are our 3 sides and one angle A. And remember children, if we change our base angle to C, then our hypotenuse remains the same, but base and perpendicular changes, because adjacent side is always a base. For if we change our angle base angle to C, then BC becomes our base and AB becomes our perpendicular, right? So keep this in your mind. So students, let us start with our trigonometric ratios of sides. As I told you earlier, there are 6 different ratios of sides, and the first ratio is the ratio between perpendicular and hypotenuse. That is the ratio between perpendicular and hypotenuse, and this ratio is known as sin A, or we call it as sin A. Sin A means the ratio of the side perpendicular and the side hypotenuse, that is longest side. And the second ratio is, that is base upon hypotenuse, means adjacent side divided by hypotenuse, or ratio between base and hypotenuse, and we call it as cos A. This ratio, second ratio, is known as cosine A. In shortcut, we write it as cos A. Students, our third ratio is, that is the ratio between perpendicular and base. That is, in shortcut, we call it as perpendicular upon base, and this ratio of perpendicular and base is known as tan A or tangent A. This is our third ratio. Fourth ratio is the reciprocal of first ratio, that is hypotenuse upon perpendicular. This ratio is the reciprocal of our first ratio sin A, and its value is called as cosecant A. So this is our fourth ratio. Then our fifth ratio is hypotenuse upon base, the ratio between the side hypotenuse, that is longest side, and base, that is adjacent side, and this is a reciprocal of our second ratio, that is ratio of cos A, and it is known as secant A. So secant A is equal to hypotenuse upon base. Sixth ratio is reciprocal of third ratio of tan A, and it is base upon perpendicular and known as cotangent A. So cot A is equal to base upon perpendicular. So these are our 6 trigonometric ratios. There is a shortcut trick to learn how to learn these trigonometric ratios. That is how we can learn these trigonometric ratios. First, you have to write this PBPHHHHHB. So what is it? It is Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har Bol. है ना funny? What interesting it is. Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har Bol. Where P stands for Pandit or perpendicular, B stands for Badri, Badri means base, and P stands for Prasad or perpendicular, H stands for Har, Har means hypotenuse, again H, hypotenuse Har, and B for Bol means base. So how this helps? This helps in this way. If we have to write sine cos tan. Now see these arrows. This arrow points downward means sine is ratio of perpendicular upon hypotenuse, cos is ratio of base upon hypotenuse, tan is ratio of perpendicular upon base. Similarly, now see these these three ratios, cosecant. Here arrow goes to upward means ratio of hypotenuse upon perpendicular. Secant, hypotenuse upon base, and cot means base upon perpendicular. कितना इंटरेस्टिंग है ये. ठीक है. पंडित बद्री प्रसाद हर हर बोल. ऊपर साइन कॉस टैन, नीचे कोसिकेंट सिकेंट कॉट. अगर ऊपर से नीचे को रेशियो लोगे तो साइन कॉस टैन, नीचे से ऊपर को रेशियो लोगे तो कोसिकेंट सिकेंट एंड कॉट. सो स्टूडेंट्स, दिस इज टुडेज वीडियो. आई होप आपको समझ आ गया होगा, आपने एंजॉय किया होगा. प्लीज चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें. थैंक यू एंड हैव अ नाइस डे.